In her first ever podcast interview, Meghan Markle has revealed she sends secret late-night emails to Archie and Lilibet. Isn't that adorable, Carlos? She wants them to read it when they grow up.
But before I go to bed almost every night, I email them for them to be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, she has loved us so much.
It was a big day for Meghan Markle. After months of planning, she finally released her very first podcast. She wanted it to be powerful, to show the world that she had something important to say. This was supposed to be her fresh start, away from royal drama, away from negative press, just Meghan using her voice. But just days after the episode dropped, something unexpected happened. Jon Stewart, yes, the Jon Stewart from The Daily Show, saw the podcast. And when he spoke about it on his show, everything changed. Now, Jon Stewart is not the kind of person who gets involved in celebrity drama. But when he talks, people listen. And this time, he had something to say about Meghan's new project. And let's just say, it wasn't nice. He didn't yell. He didn't attack her personally. But what he said, and how he said it, was so sharp, so smart, that it made everyone stop and ask, was Meghan's podcast really that bad? It all started with a smile from Jon. Then came the joke. And after that, social media exploded. But before we talk about what Jon said, let's first look at what Meghan was trying to do with this podcast. Meghan's podcast was called Archetypes, and the idea behind it sounded good. She wanted to talk about the labels that women are given in society. You know, words like bossy, diva, or difficult. Meghan said these labels hurt women and limit them. So, she wanted to challenge them. She even said she wanted to rip them apart. In her first episode, she invited Serena Williams, the famous tennis star.
Well, before Meghan Markle married Prince Harry, millions of people knew her as an actress.
Now she's officially become a podcaster. The first episode featured a good friend and special guest. CTV's Andrea Case listened to the debut episode and joins us now with the details.
To talk about the pressure women face when they try to succeed, Meghan shared some personal stories too.
Meghan Markle has been accused of exaggerating on her new podcast, Archetypes. On episode 1, the Duchess of Sussex told her friend Serena Williams.
She talked about being treated unfairly as a woman and as someone who joined the royal family. She spoke clearly with emotion. The music was soft, the editing smooth. Everything about the show sounded professional. But here's where things got tricky. Some people felt like the podcast wasn't really about women's issues. It was more about Meghan talking about herself. A lot of the episode focused on her own struggles, her own journey, her own pain.
Okay, while it is not clear how many episodes of Archetypes there will be, but Markle's already secured her next guest, Grammy-winning singer, songwriter, and butterfly Mariah Carey.
And that's where Jon Stewart came in. Because while Meghan wanted to start a big, serious conversation, Jon thought it all felt a little too fake, a little too perfect, and maybe, just maybe, a little too self-centered. And when Jon Stewart shared his opinion on The Daily Show, the world stopped laughing with Meghan and started laughing at her. Now, Jon Stewart isn't someone who usually talks about Meghan Markle. He's known for breaking down serious issues with humor. Politics, media lies, world news. But this time, he decided to take a moment and talk about Meghan's new podcast. And when he did, it wasn't what anyone expected. He didn't shout. He didn't attack her like the tabloids do. Instead, Jon simply played a few clips from the podcast. Just a few seconds of Meghan talking about herself, again and again. Then he paused. He raised an eyebrow, looked into the camera, and said with his usual sarcastic tone,
That man loves me so much. And, you know, look what we've built. We've built a beautiful life and we have 2 healthy, beautiful children. Also a fox, if you haven't noticed. My husband's very, very handsome. But his heart is even more beautiful. Oh, he's such a great partner. I feel that.
Wow, a royal telling us they're misunderstood. Never heard that before. The studio audience laughed. And just like that, Jon Stewart had done more damage than any angry headline ever could. Why? Because he used humor. And humor is powerful. Especially when it tells a truth people have been thinking but were afraid to say. Jon didn't say Meghan was evil. He didn't say she was lying. What he did say, without really saying it, was this. This podcast, it feels like a PR show, not a real conversation. And that one moment, it spread like wildfire. The internet went crazy. People started sharing the video clip of Jon Stewart on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Some laughed so hard they cried. Others made memes comparing Meghan's podcast to a diary entry. Some even joked that the show should have been called Meghan, not Archetypes. On Reddit, one user wrote, "Jon said what we were all thinking. This podcast is all about Meghan trying to look deep and smart." Even people who usually support Meghan were confused. They asked,
don't give it 5 minutes if you're not going to give it 5 years. And if you were just stick with it a little bit longer, you might see it change. But for me, I don't just want to show up somewhere and wave my hand and feel like that's enough. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm going to have my name attached to it or I'm going to do it, I really get very hands-on.
And how supportive he's been and is. But I didn't know he said that. So that's really nice. Because I think having a partner, I mean, I asked you this when you were on my podcast.
Why did she make this about herself again? They weren't angry. They were just tired. Tired of the same story, the same complaints, the same attempt to be seen as the victim. And the laughter, that hurt more than hate. Because once people start laughing at you, not with you, it's hard to win them back. Some of Meghan's fans tried to fight back online. They said Jon Stewart was being mean. They said he was just another man making fun of a woman trying to speak her truth. But the truth is, most people weren't mad at Jon. They were entertained. And Meghan, instead of owning the moment, was suddenly silent. That silence, it only made people talk more. After Jon Stewart's video went viral, Meghan's team started to panic. This was supposed to be a win, a fresh chapter. But instead, it had become a joke. And in today's internet world, a joke spreads fast and stays long.
Anything I get involved with, I don't want to just show up on a red carpet for a cause and wave my hand without knowing what I'm really doing there and why it's important for me to be there, and really putting my own personal thumbprint on it. It's my
And I certainly know how passionate I am, and Harry and I see the world so similarly in our approach of being very hands-on with things.
Behind the scenes, sources said Meghan was shocked by the reaction. She didn't expect Jon Stewart, a respected comedian, to take a shot at her. She believed her message was strong. But now, that message had been drowned by laughter. Her PR team quickly started working. They contacted friendly media outlets and told them to focus on the podcast's positive message. Articles started popping up, calling Meghan brave for speaking up and calling Jon insensitive for making fun of her. They said he missed the point of the show and twisted her words. But it didn't work. People had already made up their minds. The more the media tried to explain the podcast, the more clips of Jon Stewart kept spreading. The more they defended Meghan, the more new memes appeared. And worst of all,
it's a reminder of slow and steady wins the race. No, I think look, a couple pieces of advice I've been given that have really helped is that don't give it 5 minutes if you're not going to give it 5 years. And I think especially starting off when you're making a commitment to want to have a career choice or something that's high value to you.
The only thing that I had asked her when she said she wanted to set us up was, I had one question. I said, well, is he nice? Because if he wasn't kind, it just didn't.
The original podcast started getting low ratings. On Spotify and Apple Podcasts, many users gave it 1 or 2 stars, saying it felt scripted and fake. So, instead of fixing the problem, the damage control only made it worse. And at the center of all this, a single 5-minute joke from Jon Stewart that completely shifted the public's view. Now, the real issue wasn't just what Jon Stewart said. It was why it hit so hard. People are tired of fake stories. They're tired of celebrities always trying to look perfect. And that's where Meghan's podcast lost a lot of people. Even though it had good ideas, it felt more like a brand promotion than a real talk. Jon's joke didn't just make people laugh, it made them think. He didn't need to explain every detail. He just showed a few seconds of the podcast, raised his eyebrows, and let the audience decide for themselves. And what did they decide? That Meghan wasn't being real. Even some of her past supporters started asking, why is it always about her pain, her truth, her struggles? There was barely any focus on the guest. Serena Williams, a sports legend, barely had time to shine. That's the problem with PR shows. They're made to look authentic, but when they're not truly honest, people notice. And once they do, trust is broken. That's why Jon Stewart's short moment on The Daily Show hit harder than expected. He didn't bring new facts. He didn't dig up old drama. He simply exposed the feeling behind the podcast.
Right out of the gate, like 6 months into dating. So now 7 years later, when you have a little bit of breathing space, you can just enjoy each other One of our mom friends, she had said to me last year that she just created sort of secret email addresses for her kids that she'll give to them at some point in their life. And she would just send.
That it was more about Meghan's image than real impact. And once that feeling spreads, it's hard to take it back. The world of media has changed. People don't just listen to polished speeches or well-edited shows anymore. They want something real, something that feels honest. And Meghan is now in a place where every move she makes is being watched, judged, and reacted to in real time. Jon Stewart didn't just give his opinion. He reminded the world that no one is above being questioned. Not even a duchess. His short comment made it clear that in today's media world, authenticity wins, and anything that feels too perfect or planned gets called out fast. This is the new media Meghan is dealing with. A place where people with platforms, like Jon Stewart, can tear apart a carefully built brand in just a few words. Meghan and her team are used to writing their own story. But when someone like Jon adds his voice, it can shake the entire story apart. And this isn't just about one podcast episode. It's about how the public now sees Meghan. Is she a thoughtful voice for women? Or is she just another celebrity trying to control the spotlight? The sad truth is, moments like this make it harder for people to believe in her message. Not because what she said was wrong, but because how she said it didn't feel honest. And when something doesn't feel real, the audience tunes out, or worse, laughs at it. That's the media world Meghan is in now, and it's one she can't easily escape. So now the big question is this: was Jon Stewart's takedown the final blow to Meghan's podcast dreams, or was it a wake-up call?
Just have created such a strong boundary for myself. And even we were like, no, but it's a good one. It's like, there was this quote that I had up in my trailer but it also allows me to be really detached from the outcome. I go, I can just show up, I can put good work out there, I feel confident with what we've created, and then let it go.
Some people think this moment shows that Meghan is losing her power, that the world is tired of her stories and doesn't want to hear another message about how hard her life has been, especially when it feels like she's not truly listening to others. But others say this could be a good thing. Maybe, just maybe, this moment of public embarrassment can help her reset. Maybe she'll stop trying so hard to be perfect. Maybe she'll start speaking with more heart and less planning. Because the truth is, people do want to hear Meghan's voice. They do care about issues like gender roles, media pressure, and women's stories. But they want it to come from a place of honesty, not a place of control. Jon Stewart, without knowing it, may have done her a favor. He pointed out what wasn't working. Now, it's up to Meghan to listen. She can either keep fighting the laughter or learn from it. One joke turned her podcast into a punchline. But if she's smart, it can also be the start of something better, something real. The story isn't over. It's just at a turning point, and the world is watching what Meghan does next.